What up, all my fight fans? So, not only on the fight night did we get a boxing, but we got ourselves a UFC fight. We got ourselves Corey Sandman Sandhagen versus Chito Marlon Chito Vera. That was a fight that we really did not see coming. Well, I guess you should say the fight the way it was, we felt like this was going to be more of like a war. We really felt like Marlon Vera was going to actually turn it up. We really felt like he was going to show us his power. I honestly really truly felt like it was going to be almost like a back and forth war. But Sandhagen, Corey Sandman Sandhagen, he is a beast, man. He is a total beast. This guy can go and do anything and everything inside that octagon. He is so skillful. He is so bad. I used to hear the rumors, from other MMA outlets and other people that train with him saying like how much of a badass he is, how difficult he is to train with, how difficult he is to take down, how difficult he is to get hit or, hit and such like that. He is truly remarkable with this skill set. Yeah, he did have a few bad losses. He had a loss against TJ Dillashaw and Peter Yan. Some of those fights, people felt like he could have won, but at the end of the day, he still lost to the upper echelon of the division. He even lost to the champion, Aljamain Sterling. So, at the end of the day, he's not losing to anybody, just random people in the division. He's actually losing to the best of the best. Well, here you got Marlon Vera, who's on a crazy winning streak, who was looking good, who looked phenomenal against Dominic Cruz and knocking him out, and now he's on this winning streak where it could get him possibly to the title shot. And this, I felt like, was a number one contender fight, quite possibly, or a fight to fight the number one contender fight, which is just so happens to be Merab. Well, it looks like you got ourselves a number one contender fight up that could be set up later on down the line because Corey Sandhagen actually called out Merab after the fight. And I do feel like that would actually be a good, fun fight. Now, I know I say what should be next. Well, I feel like that should be next. But before we get into that, the fight was definitely a very one-sided fight to Corey Sandhagen. He was just so technical with his skills. He was so technical with his takedowns, with his takedown defense. He was just phenomenal. For Marlon Vera, he just looks like he couldn't turn it up. He looked like he was just stuck on neutral for the entire fight. Like he just really wasn't in it. And he finally was able to unleash, but he unleashed like that last minute of the last round. And it just was very unfortunate because even as coach, I remember hearing Jason Perillo saying, "Hey, what's going on? Are you in this? Are you in this? What's going on?" And it's just Marlon was like, yeah, let's do it. We got this. And yeah, maybe Marlon Vera has had some notorious wins and notorious fights where he's actually been known for starting late and letting the early rounds go by and turning it up later on, where he's actually been losing some of it and then finally turns it up later on. But yeah, he just looked like he started way too late, and he really just looked like he wasn't all that interested. He really didn't look like it. I don't know what was going on. Maybe there was something going on behind the scenes. Maybe he was hurt. Not to take any credit away from Sandhagen, but at the end of the day, Sandhagen went in there and he did his job, and he looked really good doing it. And he actually earned his right to advance in this bantamweight division that is the most stacked division in the UFC right now. And I'm just looking forward to seeing what's next. Because like I've always said, the bantamweight's always been one of my favorites. These guys can really duke it out. These guys can really brawl. These guys can really have fantastic fights with each other. So like I said, what could be next for these guys? Well, I just mentioned Sandhagen versus Merab. That's going to be a very fun fight. It's going to be very difficult because, you got yourself the highly skilled grappler and the, Jesus Christ, the Energizer Bunny in Merab, going against a very technical Sandhagen. Now, if Sandhagen can actually keep himself on the outside to refrain from Merab taking him down or using some of those grappling skills, that ends up neutralizing a lot of the Corey Sandhagen's skills, well, then definitely a Merab fight. But if, with that length and that reach, Corey, I think he walks around at what, like 5'11", 6 foot, something like that, where Merab is like maybe 5'6", if that. So yeah, it could be very challenging for Merab to get this fight. Very challenging for Merab to be able to take this guy down and such like that. It could be a very good challenge. And at the end of the day, guess what? Aljamain Sterling just so happens to be Merab's training partner and Merab's friend. So, yeah, he already has an opponent like, hey, how did you do this? How did you do that? And you never know. I mean, of course, that was a long time ago. That was quite a few fights ago. That was a few years down the line. But that could be a definitely matchup we could see. They called each other out. He wanted it. I feel like Merab wants it. So hey, why not make that fight happen? As far as Marlon Vera goes, I think the best fight for him, and I remember hearing this in one of the podcasts, would be Marlon Vera versus Peter Yan. You got Marlon Vera, who just came off a loss. You got Peter Yan, who has not had a win since beating I want to say Corey Sandhagen for the interim title fight and the interim title strap, you know, and that was prior to his rematch with Aljamain Sterling. So it's been a couple of years since Peter Yan has had a victory. You know, he was on previously now a 3-fight losing streak. So, you know, he could definitely earn himself a title shot, or not a title shot, but earn himself a win with possible Marlon Vera. And Marlon Vera, you know, he just lost. It's no shame on him. He can always bounce back. He's right there still. It's not like he loses a whole lot of stock. It's not like he dropped all the way down the line. No, he's right there, and maybe a couple of more fights, he could still potentially get that title fight and title win. And you got to remember, he still owns a victory over one of probably the #1 contender as well, Sean O'Malley. Who knows where that's going to happen too? You know, he could possibly get a rematch with Sean O'Malley. You never know. I don't see it potentially happening. I do feel like they're just keeping Sean O'Malley you know, in the rings and waiting for him, you know, just saying, hey, wait right there. We're going to give you a title shot next. Winner of Cejudo versus Aljamain, you get that title shot next. That's what I feel like they're trying to do with Sean O'Malley. So while the rest of the division is just going to keep busy. So I feel like the best fight for Marlon Vera would be Peter Yan. And the best fight for Peter Yan is Marlon Vera. That fight, I would definitely be interested in seeing. And of course, we already know more likely it's going to be Corey Sandhagen versus Merab. That would actually be a very fun fight. Guys, this division is stacked. This division's on fire. I cannot wait to see more of this division. So guys, check out the fight. If you haven't checked it out, let me know in the comments on what you think is going to be next for Merab. Let me know in the comments, Corey Sandhagen. Let me know in the comments what you think is going to be next for Chito Vera. Guys, like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.